Hi everyone, greetings. Welcome back. This is Module 5A, Application of UBBL in Building Design, Part 1. My name is Architect Technologist Azrul Ismail, and I'm going to be your lecturer for this module. Before we go further, I would like to point out the role of architects. Architects are not only design buildings solely based on gut feels and inspirations, but with full of responsibility and duty of care. Professionally, he or she is bounded by professionalism, which is to know and apply the knowledge of building codes into the design. So in this final module, we will learn how to apply the UBBL requirements into our design. Now that we know inside the Uniform Building Bylaw, there are 9 chapters or 9 parts. However, there are only 3 parts that we can refer to when it comes to designing a building. Those parts are part number 3 that we discuss on space, light and ventilations. Second one is part 5 on the structural requirements, and part 6 on the constructional requirements. Let's have a look parts by parts. Well, part 3, space, light and ventilation, is the most important for architects because architects design space complete with lights and ventilations. Under the part 3, there are 5 areas that we have to pay attention to. The first one is building projection. Next, on the footways. Third, on the natural lighting and ventilations. Next, on the mechanicals ventilations. And last but not least, on the rooms area and heights. First requirement for this module, building projection in reference to the bylaw number 37. What it says, extension of projection. For example, like open veranda, balconies, sunshades, and alike over the roads and setback lines. It is allowed, but within the maximum projections. How to calculate the projection limits? Based on the bylaw 37, it says projection in meter equals to width of the street in meter minus 10 meter and divided by 2. So from here, pretty much you're going to get in between 600 mm to 1500 mm. It depends on the width of the streets. However, local authorities may have different applications and interpretation of these bylaws. It is best to consult them before proceeding with design over setback lines and over roads. Footways, bylaw number 38. Inside the bylaw, there are requirements for us when we design the footways, be it in front of houses or shop houses. Width of veranda way or uncovered footway is to be 2.25 meter. With new revision of bylaw 2012, it says 2.1 meter. With allowance of 600 mm for piers or columns from street boundary line to encroach into it. What about the steps? Steps on footways with risers no less than 150 mm and the tread 275 mm. Pedestrian ramps, it should be no less than 1 to 10 ratio. Referring to MS 133 and MS 1184 for the codes of practice on access for disabled persons to public buildings in conjunction with these rules. Footpaths and ramps to comply with the codes for public buildings and public access. Important notes, check these requirements against the local authority or PBT specification as it may vary from one another. Let's have a look on the next bylaw number 39. It's all about natural lighting and ventilations. In the bylaw, conceptually, they govern the minimum size of opening to allow for adequate lights and ventilations. So here there are 4 categories of buildings with a different requirement. The first one, residential, business, and all buildings, except hospitals and schools. Natural lighting ventilation should be bigger than 10% of clear floor area of space or room and openings, where air circulation should be more than 5% of such floor area. In a patient's accommodations for hospitals, natural lighting ventilation should be bigger than 15% of clear floor area of the space or room and openings. And air ventilation should be 10% or more of such floor area. Classroom in schools. Natural lighting ventilation should be 20% of clear floor area of the space or room and openings. And uninterrupted air passage should be more than 10% of such floor area. Whereby for toilets and all bathrooms, natural lighting ventilation should be more than 0.2 square meter per unit of WC, water closet, latrine, or bathroom. Now, let's do some calculation exercise by applying the requirements of bylaw number 39. This is the question. Given design of a classroom in school that have built up area of 72 square meter, referring to the requirement in UBBL 1984, calculate and determine A, the minimum natural ventilation and lighting opening required in square meters. B, the minimum area in square meter of ventilation opening that capable in allowing a free uninterrupted passage of air from your answer above. Let's do this in our forum chat room. So each of you are required to post in your calculation in reference to the UBBL bylaw number 39. What if the building don't have any natural ventilations? Let's refer to bylaw number 41 on the mechanical ventilations. Permanently mechanically ventilated or air-conditioned rooms are exempted or waived from complying rules on natural lighting, ventilation, and height of rooms. Examples of habitable windowless room: spaces like basement areas, toilets, isolated wards for contagious disease, cinema, auditorium projection room, and others. The room, however, shall have alternative means if mechanical system, for example, like the aircon and vent fan, fails. Bylaw third schedule. Provisions shall apply to buildings which are mechanically ventilated or air-conditioned. In order for us to design a space or a room, do you know that we have a minimum requirement? In the bylaw 42 and number 43, there are minimum areas of rooms requirement. As you can see, in a residential area or in residential building, areas of habitable room, first room should be bigger than 11 square meter. This could be the master bedroom. And the second room should be bigger than 9.3 square meter. This could be the second bedroom. And the others should be bigger than 6.5 square meter. And the room width minimum is 2 meter. And the height should be bigger than 2.5 meter. Kitchen area should be bigger than 4.5 meter with the minimum width of not less than 1.5 meter. And the height should be bigger than 2.25 meter. What about latrines, WC, and bathrooms? It pretty much depends on what type of WC offered. If the pedestal type WC is used, the size of the latrine or cubicle should be no less than 1.5 meter by 0.75 meter. Whereas for non-pedestal WC, it should be no less than 1.25 meter by 0.75 meter. And the bathroom or shower cubicle should be no less than 1.5 meter by 0.75 meter. I think that will be all for this time around, and stay tuned for the next module. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.